I'm Shauna.
I'm Harrison. Is this your first time in New York?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I was gonna hate it, coming from Iowa and all, but I really love it.
Fantastic.
Yes. Okay. All right. As is tradition, I will crack one open.
Oh, nice.
All right. And this is Rock Hard Caucus. This is our 215th episode. The recording date is September 13th of 2025. And as mandated by our governor, Kim Reynolds, all of the American flags that we have up here at Rock Hard Central are flying at half-mast to honor the life of American hero, visionary, and all-around pleasant and nice guy, Charles Kirk. That's been probably the biggest piece of news this week is that guy got killed. How do we feel about it?
I just gotta say, the situation with the Los Angeles Clippers is crazy right now. That's all I've been focusing on. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say about that.
No. All I really wanted to say on the podcast is that a guy who's been on our podcast, Johnson County Supervisor John Green, has defied the instructions from the governor to fly flags at half-mast and is getting, from what I've heard, a lot of threats about it.
Wow.
So shout out to him.
It does seem to be kind of like, I mean, I guess it seems that there's kind of a cancel culture craze amongst right-wingers about him being killed, which, yeah, I feel like it's just kind of like, ooh, not a big surprise that Charlie, like that at some point, you know, everyone likes to talk about fascism as the imperialism coming home. It's like, it kind of happened on a personal level.
Right,
him.
it's the boomerang thing.
And that's, I mean, it's probably not the last time that's going to happen.
No, I mean, we cook up the environment.
For worse, definitely for worse.
Oh yeah. Like this is the society we've built. You know that he definitely had a hand in cooking up,
shaping.
This is our bed we shat in, and now we have to live in it.
Yes.
Yep.
So we should probably introduce the guest since he's joining us now. Dominic Rabalais, thank you for joining us here on the podcast.
Oh, it is honestly an honor. I do love the podcast. And I mean, it was so funny because I feel like when you probably texted me about our actual topic, Fairfield, Iowa.
Oh yeah.
Probably an hour before Charlie Kirk was capped.
Yes. So yeah, the cancel culture thing, like the right in Iowa, the Republicans who completely dominate the state's politics, have used this as an opportunity to do one of their favorite things, stochastic terrorism towards public school teachers. That seems to be the main activity of the week is finding Facebook posts by, art teachers from middle schools that were not sufficiently mournful about the violent death.
Charlie Kirk's a big free speech guy, but then, all these people who, liked him are trying to just get people fired from their jobs for, I don't know, mostly pretty tame stuff. I don't think, kind of discussed, I don't think anyone's really happy about this. It's bad. It's a reflection of the bad things that are going on in our society, but it's not I don't think I've seen anybody joyful over this. It's a bad thing that happened.
Yeah. I mean, this has been talked about by a lot of people, but it's insane that fucking a state senator and her husband and dog and some other guy was almost killed. There was a fucking masked assassin dressing as a cop in Minnesota not but 2 months ago. Right. And he was he worked for a fucking private, he managed a Blockbuster Video or something, but then also worked for a private security company that did work in Gaza and the fucking, the Congo and shit. It's who is this psycho assassin just running around pretending to be a cop murdering people? And that's just kind of cultural memory hole, but schmuck college grifter is National Day of Mourning.
Yeah, and he was killed by
fucking crazy.
likely an acolyte of a rival right-wing media star.
Which is so insane. The fact that oh god, once again, it is a real look at how far we've fallen kind of thing. But the fact that any of these, like Nick Fuentes, has any cultural hold, let alone cultural hold to, send an insane guy psychic messages to get him to kill a rival or whatever.
Yeah.
And that Charlie Kirk was so popular in the first place. Major decline, cultural decline energy.
Yeah, I will say, I think that a lot of the people who are very sad, very performatively upset about this particular guy who is now dead, probably weren't really listening to him.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
they
I did
didn't know who he was.
Yeah, it's crazy. I did some. The BBC World News podcast. I was like, they were like, headline on the podcast was that they had caught the killer, and I was like, wow, what do the Brits have to say about this?
Oh yeah.
And they had some lady on the ground who was doing who was at a vigil or something, I think in Utah. And there was this thing, they interviewed this one lady and she was like, yeah, my grandson was just a huge fan of Charlie Kirk and all this kind of stuff. Just he shared his values. She literally said something akin to, he shared his values and everything. Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's fucked, bro. His values are fucked. They're reprehensible. No one should share his values.
Yeah. It's not. You shouldn't be proudly espousing these values that you share. With Charlie.
I mean, and obviously he's a grifter, and his whole thing is being as mean and evil as possible. But it's no one has I've never seen a quote from Charlie Kirk that's like, here's me being I'm Mr. Reasonable. Even so many right-wing grifters are like, can you believe the loony left and their crazy beliefs? He's just like, no, black people are inferior, trans people die. He's not just he's not like, well, I think that we should have moderate, reasonable policies about great replacement or whatever. I don't know, he's just bad.
Yeah, and always kind of chasing the most sensational right-wing topic of the day. How can I stand out myself as this media figure on this particular topic, get the headlines, get the Midas touch, videos on social media.
Oh, yeah.
My mom is a major, shout out my mom, loving Midas touch.
Yeah. My mom listens to David Pac-Man, who has also been in the news recently.
Really? That's awesome. Yeah, he was one of those chorus guys.
He was, yeah. And also was
Democrat
saying
money.
that Richie Torres was the future of the progressive wing of the Democratic Party.
No. Dude, Mr. Pac-Man.
Not a great guy.
A ghost Pac-Man needs to get that motherfucker.
Yeah. Okay, so in an attempt to segue into the main topic of the day, I think this was 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He tweeted that that the Wall Street Journal has published this excerpt from Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday compilation of cards and letters from all of his friends.
Insane thing to exist in the first place.
I know. It's so weird.
Who makes a book for their birthday?
Well, he just had so many close, dedicated friends that they wanted to put something nice together for him, and they're idle rich, so they got to find something to do.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
But Kirk was he was claiming that the Donald Trump signature on Trump's weird little letter was fake, that it was a fake signature. And so, just caping for his big boss man. So that was the most recent thing I had seen from Charlie Kirk before his life was taken. So he was, dedicated to the very end to protecting. He was on the big boy support team, Evan.
True. Also, Donald Trump's signature is so distinct. A bunch of people were like, oh yeah, there's all these other letters from the 80s that have the exact same signature. It's clearly, what other explanation? Someone forged Donald Trump's signature for this book that was all personal friends of this man?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
There's a billion photos of him and Epstein.
Yeah.
Him and Epstein, and there's been photos of him and Clinton. It's
yeah. To
anyone with eyes who isn't I I can't tell if Trump derangement syndrome is something that the libs suffer from or the Trump people, but anybody who is capable of seeing the world as it actually is, it's obvious.
Oh,
like
yeah,
he was besties. They were besties.
Yeah, they had a shared interest.
Exactly. They were bonding over pedophilia. It's kind of like how we all like DIY music and like playing shows and like, you know, friendship and stuff. That's their DIY music is pedophilia.
Ooh, yeah, God, it really is. Like, this is like how they get together. Like, oh, I'll see you at the next one. You know,
I'll see you at the sacrifice. being like, oh, can you believe fucking Poppy Bush dropped off the bill last minute of the sacrifice, dude. We're gonna have to get Clinton can fill the spot, but she's just always playing. She's always sacrificing.
Yeah. Oh, how long is this set gonna go on?
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. And it's just the same sacrifice every time.
So another page from the Epstein book. So Dom, you grew up in Fairfield, and we'd been talking. Well, in fact, at a show that you played a few months ago, we were talking about, you know, I want to understand more about the culture of Fairfield, Iowa. So we were talking about maybe having you come on the show sometime. And then this came up in the Epstein book, and I was like, well, I guess now's the time to make this happen.
Yes, totally.
So this is something written by Bill Elkis for Jeff Epstein's birthday. I didn't really look into who Bill Elkis is, but
yeah, he seems to just be like a money schmuck. Like that's just he's just a guy. I mean, he was. There's since been a thing that he like rebuked, or he was like, I was friends with Jeffrey Epstein before I knew that he was a pedophile. Yeah.
Well, yeah, given that context, let me read what
this is
Bill wrote.
real interesting thing to say after this letter comes out.
Exactly.
He wrote, "It's no secret that Jeffrey appreciates beautiful women, but not many people know that he can create them out of thin air. At least he did in Iowa in 1988.
Man, this is disrespectful to women in Iowa.
Oh, it's extremely.
There's beautiful women in Iowa
God,
and
dude.
Everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're not just coming out
first of all, every
it's
woman
not conjuring
is beautiful.
them. That's true. That is true.
No, but like it's funny because it's like that's truly vile and offensive. But then everything else in the book is kind of like we love pedophilia, which is also it's like it's such a weirdly specific like It's funny to be misogynist when you're writing for the pedophilia Bible. You know,
right?
It's like,
right,
come on,
right.
get your sociopathic cruelty genre specific here.
Yeah, this letter stands out in that it's about like adult women, you know, degrading adult women. It's kind of a nice change of pace when you're flipping through the Jeffrey Epstein birthday book. So he continues, at the time, I was managing the money of the Zimmerman family, and they lived in Fairfield, Iowa, a town of less than 10,000 people between Ottumwa and Burlington. Zimmerman family, do you want to...
Yeah, well,
I know
actually,
you know about them.
Yeah, well, so I don't actually know like what they do because I was asking my mom about this because she's lived in Fairfield. I mean, she moved to Fairfield from Ohio to I don't know if that's like doxing my whatever. Nothing matters. Anyway, no,
leave her alone, people.
Exactly, dude. If you cover my mom, I will cut you in half. But both my mom and my dad moved because of transcendental meditation to Fairfield, which is interesting that the letter doesn't mention transcendental meditation. It also is like Ottumwa and Burlington. Who the fuck knows where Ottumwa and Burlington are?
I know, yeah.
Like,
just to give you an idea of where Fairfield is, it's between these two other places you've never heard of.
Really stands out from everything in the book. Like this guy, I mean, you can tell he's a money manager guy, and everyone else is just like some weird celebrity, like hanger-on person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so I asked, because my mom's lived there for a very long time. She moved there because of after she learned transcendental meditation. She moved there to be a part of the larger transcendental meditation community that was popping up there. And at one point, I mean, we're quickly going to spiral into some esoteric nitty gritty here. But part of the whole transcendental meditation movement is wanting to create world peace. And the idea is, so it's all brought to, it's like, in order to explain one thing, you have to explain another thing, you have to explain another thing.
We may not be able to contain all of this in one episode.
Yes,
so
totally.
Dom may return.
But so like, long story short, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, boom, he comes to America. He teaches the Beatles. He teaches all these famous people, the Beach Boys, all these various people. Transcendental meditation. Part of the idea is that if you get enough people practicing transcendental meditation at the same time, the like brainwave coherence created and like the settling of the mind created by practicing meditation, is like if you get, I think it's the square root of 1% of the population it's like the brain waves, the actual brain waves. Like when I was a kid, I did a thing where they like put electrodes on my head and had me meditate. Man. And then they were like, look, the readout, look at the alpha waves that pop up when you start thinking the mantra and stuff.
Yeah.
But,
sounds familiar.
Exactly. Yeah. like anybody's childhood, you know. So they did this, they had this thing, the Taste of Utopia, which was a kind of like Maharishi being like, okay, everyone, we're going to have a big gathering where we're going to try and get as many people. And that might have been when they built the Maharishi Patanjali Golden Domes of Pure Knowledge, which I suppose listeners can look up on Google Images, Golden Domes, Fairfield, Iowa. They're these two giant domes that everyone goes and practices, like what's called an advanced technique of transcendental meditation, which is called yogic flying.
Yes. So and that is what it sounds like, right?
Yeah. It looks like people hopping around. Yeah.
I mean,
you can look up.
I thought they were levitating.
It's arguable. Well, the idea, let me get to the Zimmerman thing real quick and then we can get to, so basically they have this big event called the Taste of Utopia. Boom. We're going to create world peace. Blah, 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 blah. They maybe built the domes at this exact time as well, but they did build Utopia Park, which the Zimmerman family paid for. And also Utopia Park is on Zimmerman Boulevard, or the front of Utopia Park is along Zimmerman Boulevard. And that is the trailer park that I grew up in. And that me and my brother actually subsequently named our band Utopia Park at one point.
That's good.
But and it was just, it's a hilarious, it's like classic, I guess it's classic pretty much everyone in society or, you know, bureaucracies or whatever. It was like, all right, we built this trailer park. It's going to be around for like 1 or 2 years while everyone does this. But it was built in like early 80s and it still exists to this day.
So this was built to house people who were coming for TM.
For
practice.
the Taste of Utopia.
Okay. Yeah.
For this one kind of like, we're going to get together and we're going to taste Utopia. You know, and I guess maybe it's like, you know, not to be all tech speak or whatever, like a proof of concept of world peace, of enlightenment.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You get this number of people here. You get a taste of Utopia.
Exactly. And now imagine,
the whole meal of Utopia.
Right.
Exactly. Delicious.
It's an appetizer.
Exactly. The tasting menu of Utopia. But yeah, so that's the Zimmerman family. The Zimmerman family are the people who built the trailer park. And yeah, I mean, like, the movement exists, the TM movement. It's just kind of like reflex in my mind to call it the movement because that's colloquially what it's been referred to for my entire life.
Yeah.
But it definitely relies on extremely rich people, giving huge amounts of money. Well, that and people like my mom and dad who chose to live in a shitty black mold infested trailer so that they could work for almost no pay so that they could help create world peace. But like they were it's like wealthy donors and hey, it's just like the Democratic Party, wealthy donors and the unpaid exploited masses, is what allows it to exist.
So the TM movement is not free from the typical class hierarchical structures.
Oh, it's deeply class. It's like without getting. I mean, part of the esoteric, the thing that is like so. It's almost this kind of like New Age spirituality, which this is classic these days. This is nothing new, New Age spirituality, but like I feel like it's OG in that it is like rich people are rich because nature is supporting them, and poor people are poor because you got bad karma or whatever. And so it's kind of like, and it's like, well, the rich people are rich because, well, they're good, and that's why they're rich. And good people are rich, and rich people are good. Poor people are bad, and they're bad because they're poor, and they're poor because they're bad. You know, like this, like the Reagan style, fucking Margaret Thatcher style, like moralizing class politics, but from like a new age perspective.
Sure. Yeah. You can find a lot of different rationalizations for just, you know, defending,
maintaining,
the status quo.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, that's, damn, dude, that's so convenient for people in power, you know, like gender based stuff, like, you know, like the word nature as like, oh, well, you know, like the word nature is all powerful in its like rhetorical, ideological lifting, where it's just like, well, you know, I mean, women are just naturally meant to be home keepers or whatever, and men are naturally the breadwinner. It's like nature, like you can say anything is natural, and in this case, it always just so happens to conveniently line up with the people who have all of the power.
Yeah, it just reinforces the way it already is.
Their station in society and the world is naturally imbued, and that's why it is the way it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot like common sense, Evan.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it is hilariously, now that I think about it, it's rather Charlie Kirk-esque.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of parallels here. It also sounds, I mean, a lot like Scientology in a lot of ways.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, they even got meters, I guess. I didn't know they had meters.
Yeah, they hooked you up to a brain scan.
Oh,
Electrodes.
yes, exactly. Yes, totally. That, they're kind of skirting this, like, they do have the meters, and you know what, now that I think about it, I was a child, and so I'm like, maybe it was pseudoscience, but they do, the movement does love to be like, it's not a religion, and, like, they want it to be very, rational, scientific based. So they do a lot of studies, like psychological studies, I guess brainwave studies, all these various things about the kind of like material benefits of doing transcendental meditation. I think, partially. I think honestly, because at some point, I mean, I think Maharishi didn't want it to seem like, in order for it to spread, to, you know, be as popular as they want it to be. I think that they wanted it to have some kind of like, at least veneer of grounding in like science or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's certainly up for debate. I guess as opposed to like the obvious bullshit of Scientology, but, and I in no way mean to be like, my cult that I grew up in is actually, hey, at least I'm not one of those dumbass Scientologists or whatever. You know, it's like, I certainly did grow up in a silly cult.
Well, but they do the same thing. Scientology, you know, it's based in this scientific book. You know, it's
totally.
Like,
it's in the name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Let me read some more from Bill Elkis here, now that we know a little more about Zimmerman.
Oh, yeah, the Zimmermans. Yeah, exactly.
Hog farming, and by the way, if you were offended by what he said about women in the previous paragraph, listen to this. Hog farming is a serious industry there, and many feel there is more than a little truth to the saying that it's hard to tell the difference between the girls and the hogs in southeast Iowa.
God damn.
Wow.
We need to find Bill. We need to find on behalf of women. We need to find Bill Elkis and take revenge. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, okay. Have you heard?
I've also never heard that phrase.
Yeah, girls in southeast Iowa being compared to hogs, or have you heard like middle-aged pedophilic men compared to hogs more often?
Yes. Exactly.
I had invited Jeffrey to come to Fairfield to see our investment operations, meet the Zimmerman family, and learn more about their major charitable projects, which we've heard a little bit about.
I guess, is that? Oh, and also the investment opportunity. I'm like, I guess it's the 80s, so it's like you can't just kind of, like, what is he sending a fax? Otherwise, like, you can't just be like, look, I've texted you our investment opportunities or whatever. Like, it was blowing I assume everyone who's grew up in Fairfield and lives in Fairfield, it was obliterating our minds that Jeffrey Epstein was in Fairfield in 1988.
Yeah,
but,
I had no idea that he had ever been to the middle of the country at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Prior to the release of this book. He asked about the nightlife, and we could only laugh as we dropped him off at the local motel. The next morning, a group of 4 of us picked up Jeffrey to give him a tour of the area. At our first stop, we parked in front of a bookstore. As we were getting out of the car, a spectacular, tall, blonde woman suddenly came out of the store, walked directly past us and up to Jeffrey and announced, "I am new to this area. What's going on?"
This sounds like a very real thing that happened.
So this is 1988, which was a little before your time, Dom. But
yeah,
the nightlife in Fairfield. What's going on there these days?
Well, I mean, hey, if it wasn't a brief window in the 2010s when me and my brother were booking shows and a couple of other people were booking shows, then it has gone back to, well, I mean, if you want to play pool, you can do that. Or if you want to be potentially homophobic, hate crimed, and or guy wants to fuck you, in the kind of that weird nexus of those two competing urges that dumb guys tend to have, then there's a bar that you can go to for that. But otherwise there's once again not quite as much nightlife as and I assume in 1988 there was like, kind of just like a down home bar and probably nothing else.
Yeah. I've heard of Cafe Paradiso. Is that?
Oh, yeah.
A place? Okay.
It is a place.
That's where Jeff Shipley did his stand-up comedy routine. Am I right?
Yes,
that's
exactly.
Right, yes.
Oh my!
You know
another cursed individual. I don't know him personally, but I voted in 2020. The only thing that I voted for in 2020 was simply for his opponent because I don't know anything about his opponent, but I despise him on a personal level.
For sure.
And so that was my civic participation for that year.
It's appreciated, you know. I mean, he won anyway, but
yes.
You know, it definitely warranted a vote against him. Okay,
exactly.
So a beautiful woman walked out of a bookstore. It turned out she was a sales representative for a firm selling academic branded athletic clothing, and she was literally driving through Iowa visiting local campuses. Literally. She was literally driving through Iowa. Jeffrey invited her to join us and did his magic. Within a few hours, he had invited her to return to New York with him for the weekend. So what's his magic, do you think? What was Jeffrey Epstein's magic?
It's so I mean, okay, this is maybe slightly insane to say, but he was kind of handsome. At least younger pictures of him. He was not ugly. We can, unfortunately, we have to admit that he was not despicable looking. Like a lot of these people are despicable looking, you know, in contrast, I guess. Mm-hmm. God, what? I mean, provided that, does it get into the letter later that this was like this, an escort who he had planned to set this whole situation up with to make himself look like a swag lord or something?
That is what the last
that's what it sounds like to me.
About.
Well, like, so there's like the Maharishi International University.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, but that's like tiny, right?
Yeah, extremely tiny and like not really any form of fucking sports. I don't think there's any sports team.
Yeah.
And also like academic branded. Like, what is that? I guess it's like, you know, I feel like there's like, I don't know if they still do this, but like, you know, it's like the people whose lives is going from college to college when it's like move-in day and they sell posters and like, probably like, whatever.
They do still do that. I just saw that a couple weeks ago.
Hell yeah. Which now that I think about it, it's like, it all happens on the same day. So it seems hard to go from place to place, but it does seem like kind of a migratory job. Like
it does
one that you would drive
like
around the country.
Like a carny type of thing. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But like the fucking, like, it's also like academic branded. So was it just say like college as opposed, like you would imagine that if she's driving from college to college, she would have to sell the actual colleges. Like, the University of Iowa won, the Iowa State University, which, you know, and this lady better be in the know. She better not accidentally try and sell a U of I to a, you know, whatever, because of that deep rivalry.
I like to imagine this beautiful woman. She actually just has like a bunch of shirts in the trunk, and she's like parking outside the stadium. It's like, hey, got some bootleg merch here. I
exactly.
Just screen printed it 5 minutes ago. It's fresh. The guys in the car were astonished to even see such an attractive lady in Fairfield.
Come on. on behalf of all the beautiful ladies of Fairfield, once again, Bill Elkis, you're going down.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially if you have like a meditation cult, I have to imagine plenty of beautiful women are interested in that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hotties are among the most susceptible to indoctrination. I mean, I bet that there is some kind of material thing going on with that. Honestly, I feel like, I mean, this is potentially a major random thing, but it's like, I feel like there is a sense, well, there's a thing that happens to like women and girls who are like constantly hit on and have sexuality imposed on them from an extremely young age, that it's like, oops, I never got to figure out who I am as a person because I have just been sexualized since forever, and had that like, just like slammed upon them that like there's no kind of time to have like a personal identity. I know multiple trans guys who were like, I was a straight up hot girl because everyone told me I was a hot girl before I realized I was a fucking guy.
Sure.
And so I can see, actually, I mean, spitballing with my material analysis here, but that like, there is a sense where it's just like, if you have never had the time to figure out who you are in this world, which happens to many, 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 many people for a number of reasons.
And you're discouraged from like exploring yourself in a lot of like social pressure ways.
Yeah. Then something like transcendental meditation is, because I mean, I used to have my own joke about like dating people in Fairfield where I'm like, I do not want to date someone who chooses to move to Fairfield, Iowa, because they're clearly at a place in their life where dating them is not like, you know, an ideal thing to do.
Probably not a great match. Yeah.
Exactly. Which is funny because, but yeah, I mean, just because like, who chooses to move to Fairfield, Iowa? Unless you're having a smidge of a mental breakdown,
sure, some kind of identity
Jeffrey
crisis,
Epstein.
maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Searching for something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So they were astonished to see an attractive woman. They were amazed that she passed over them to meet Jeff, and were speechless when she agreed to come to New York. I'll admit to wondering at the time whether Jeffrey somehow arranged the whole episode through some long-distance escort service. Well, I think given hindsight, 35 years of hindsight, we can say, that's probably a good bet, Bill Elkis. But the following week, I happened to be in Manhattan, and Jeffrey asked me to give her a ride back in our company plane, giving me a chance to speak with her for a few hours. She was the real McCoy.
Which, like, what does that even mean, the real McCoy? Like, she actually was a t-shirt salesman or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think even the escorts, paid escorts, are also
real McCoys.
Real human beings.
It's probably one of the most realist thing that you can do.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, so thank you, Bill Elkis, for giving us a window into Jeffrey Epstein's life in 1988, visiting Fairfield, Iowa. Kind of a bombshell piece of news.
It is honestly a bombshell. It's a mental bombshell for myself. Just in terms of, I mean, I feel like I was joking with someone. I was like, this feels like yet another thing that has, I have another piece of information that also feels pre-packaged to destroy my mind, which is that I have a photo of George W. Bush wearing an MIU, Maharishi International University hat on my phone. And he's hanging out
Oh, man.
So I went to...
Did he get it from this lady?
Oh my God, perhaps. Well, God, I think that I did. So, I talked to one of the guys who's in the photo because when I lived in Fairfield and I would go to the gym, I would always see him walking, and he's a big time talker. Like, he fucking loves to talk. He also
he's like
loves
a local character.
Yeah, exactly. He also loves music, and he loved me and my brother's bands and whatnot. So Yeah, okay, this is a two-tiered thing. One, here's I'll send it to you guys, but that's George W. Bush in the middle there.
Yeah,
Might be kind of hard to see. Here, actually, I'll zoom in. Bam. MIU hat on W there. Classic, distinct W dummy grin.
Clearly him. Yeah.
Unmistakable.
Exactly. And so, okay, so yeah, like part of growing up in Fairfield, going to what is arguably like a Catholic school, but for TM movement stuff. Like instead of like Bible study, we would like read the Bhagavad Gita, but in Sanskrit. Like we would read the Sanskrit script text, but we didn't know what it said but the idea was that like if you speak the sounds of the language of Sanskrit, it like, furthers you down the path towards enlightenment.
There's like a spiritual element to the language.
Yeah, to simply
itself.
making the sound. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, how are you reading it?
We learned to read the alphabet, but not what it actually says.
Okay, got it.
But
so
that was all.
You're like just speaking phonetically. You don't know the meaning behind the words or something.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that was kind of all under this like system of knowledge called the science of creative intelligence, which is basically like the Bible study. Basically, like it's your Bible study allegory. It's it is essentially that, and it's also just kind of like stuff that Maharishi talk time. And my SCI teacher was this dude who I guess I won't say his name, but I mean, I hate him and I hate his wife and everyone but just because they're cruel pieces of shit.
Sure.
Classic like TM or any kind of like spiritual development thing is the people who thought themselves to be like spiritually developed, whatever, more enlightened, whatever, are like the most demonic sociopathic motherfuckers you could possibly imagine. Anyway, he went to Yale. And he loved to talk about how he went to Yale. And I'm 35 years old. And so in 2006, I was like 16, listening to Anti-Flag and all these kind of like anti-war punk bands and shit.
Yeah.
And, 9/11 inside job, it's a war for oil, all these various things that I still believe are true. And I was aware of this secret society at Yale called Skull and Bones.
Right.
And so as like a kind of a teenage punk bitch, I was like, oh, Mr. So-and-so, like you went to Yale. Were you in Skull and Bones? And he was like, yeah, I was.
Oh my God.
Which is insane. And in the picture of George W. Bush, it's George W. Bush, and then lurking behind him in the shadows is my SCI teacher. That's the guy. What the fuck? Oh, but apparently, so yeah, the guy said that it happened. George W. was coming through Fairfield, driving around the country because he was running for president. I don't remember. It was obvious. He looks younger than the presidents when he
did look pretty young
when
there.
He stole the election in the year 2000.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense he was in Iowa prior to the 2000 election since we had the caucus and stuff. But he looked really young.
Yeah, but it might have also been like fucking, let's see, 1996, I guess, would it be? Because if the year 2000, 4 years before that, Clinton won twice.
Yeah, Clinton won the 96 election.
Yeah, I think that might have been 1996.
Maybe he was laying the groundwork for running later, prior to the 96 election.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, it certainly, dynastically makes, the whole... Dude, it's crazy that fucking there are political dynasties in a country that claims it's a democracy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It is hereditary, despite claims to the contrary. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like 100 Habsburg Empire. 100 shitty Habsburgs. Not that the Habsburgs were unshitty, but yeah.
They were all right. They were nice guys, I think. I don't know anything.
Yeah, hey, they kept to themselves, if you know what I'm saying. As in they fucked each other a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes back to the Maharishi belief that it's just natural hierarchy, They deserve power.
I mean, literally.
They deserve power because they have power.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in school, like both my brother and I have stories of like different rich guy families, like the dad rich guy coming into the class and like speaking to the class of being like, yeah, this is my business journey, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I started this business. It wasn't doing very well. I talked to Maharishi. He told me to do this. I was really on the program, etc., blah, blah, blah. And then the next thing I know, boom, I'm fucking rich as balls. And fully doing the I'm rich because I'm good because I followed what Maharishi says that I should do. And it's interesting, the inversion that it's and you're poor and bad, it didn't really land on me, partially because once again, I don't know if this is doxing my parents or whatever, but my parents were very they extremely poor people growing up, and they were we don't want our children to feel or think that we're poor as balls. We were poor as balls, but instead of telling us that we were poor as balls, our parents were, it's oh, Nintendo 64, would love one of those. Instead of being we can't afford it, our parents were just no, you don't get it. Other people maybe get a Nintendo 64, but you guys don't. So it's at the time, I wasn't oh, we're poor and bad, but it was oh, this guy's good. This guy's rich because he's good. But, and I don't know, something about probably being stupid, but the inverse implication of that did not dawn on me until later.
Well, it's probably good that you at least grew up not feeling that oh, my family's being punished cosmically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Okay, so Maharishi came to Fairfield in the 60s. Is this when this kind of
well,
started?
The thing is, it's he never, I think he came to Fairfield once or twice. There's a point where he never then returned to America.
Yeah,
he lived out the rest of his days in fucking Vlodrop, the Netherlands, which is some random small town or whatever. But we are audio format, but I can send you some images of his house. Some random meme account that me and my brother stumbled upon that is clearly someone who just had the exact unbelievably specific childhood that we had, but we don't know who it was. But it's there's a picture. It's Maharishi's house, TM movement housing. And it's a literal picture of the trailer park, the Zimmerman built trailer park. And Maharishi's fucking a massive mansion. But he he began spreading the knowledge of transcendental meditation. I think, in the 60s or something like that. The Beatles learned fucking all sorts of people. I stumbled upon, I was telling my roommate yesterday, because I was doing a little bit of investigation. I was gathering some links for this very conversation. And I always forget who I have given the rundown of, growing up in a cult, etc.
Well, you haven't really given me the full story, but a few months ago, you played a show at Gabe's, and we were talking at the merch table about this for quite a while. But that's not really the greatest environment for learning and retaining information.
Yeah, true. So I came across a website called goldendome.org, which is a really good graphic design website. It's fucking awesome in terms of website. Oh yeah, here's a picture of fucking Maharishi and the Beatles, and then it's okay, fucking Jennifer Lopez, Hugh Jackman, Jennifer Aniston, Jim Carrey, Heather Graham, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Liv Tyler, Howard Stern, Cameron Diaz, Martin Scorsese, Katy Perry, Jerry Seinfeld, Oprah, Russell Brand, Ellen DeGeneres, Clint Eastwood, Judy Greer, The Beatles, Paul and Ringo, Maya Stojan,
Judy Greer,
Dr. Oz. And each of these, I can send you this website. Each of these has a link right next to their name with a little video of them talking about transcendental meditation.
Yeah. Everyone knows about
also
David
Russell,
Lynch, of course.
Yes, exactly. Also Russell Simmons. So there's two rapist Russells who are Russell Brand and Russell Simmons.
Man. Yeah. God damn.
Howard Stern's a funny one to be on here too.
Yes, no, totally. Well, actually, there's a fucking picture of Woody Allen. Is that Woody Allen right there? I can't tell. No, that might be Clint Eastwood from a weird angle. But anyway, Moby. Moby came to my senior prom.
Fuck.
And he signed my 16-year-old prom date's boobs.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I'm allowed to say that because it's true, actually.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not making accusations. It's literally true. He was also making out with a girl who was 18 who was in my grade.
I was going to ask if he had a date to your prom. Yeah.
He was dating Heather Graham at the time, but he also, I won't say who. God, am I doing bad things by just saying that? I'm not sure. I'm like, is that rude? Well, you guys don't know who she was.
No,
I can barely remember her name. She's it's just a now adult who I went to high school with.
Yeah.
But Moby was, and this was at the after party. But he was in town for like a David Lynch weekend or whatever. But he did come. Oh my God, yeah. Moby came, David Lynch came, and Donovan, the 60s folk singer. Donovan came and he performed Atlantis, the song Atlantis.
Yeah.
For us at the prom.
What a weird weekend.
I agree completely.
That is so strange.
And Moby made some joke like, "Oh, we're gonna spike the punch with mescaline or something like that."
Yeah, there's that thing with Moby and Natalie Portman.
Oh yeah.
Oh, where
she accused him of being a creep, and he said that he dated her, and she was like, "No, he just was like a fucking creep to me."
Yeah, he was around. He was just around and claiming to be dating her. So
They've also got a section on this webpage about defense intelligence and a bunch of guys from the Center for Advanced Military Science who have connections.
Yes.
To
Wait,
TM.
what website are you looking for?
I'm on the goldendome.org.
Oh, Golden Dome. No. Yeah. Center for Advanced Military Science. Yeah. That's, Golden Dome. Yeah. goldendome.org/index.asp. I don't know if that's just but anyway, yeah, also like there are ties to Modi with the movement. There are ties to Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Ivanka, the little Trump free. There's a quote from Ivanka Trump. Meditation is one of the most important things I do each day. And isn't Ivanka married to Jared 666 Kushner?
Yes.
I can't believe that he owns a building at 666 Park Avenue. Like, come on, people.
It's too on the nose.
Exactly. It's like, it blew my mind. It blows my mind that that's not like latched on by Q people. Cause it's like, they're rubbing it in our faces, folks. But I mean, Jared also Zio Nazi to the core. Wasn't he kind of in charge of moving the, moving the embassy. What is the word? Yeah, the embassy.
Yeah.
But hey, at least he practices transcendental meditation. Obviously not doing much for, that's the thing. Even the concept of peace, it's like, okay, we're going to have peace, but like, Israel still exists? Like the neo-colonial the neo-colonial relationship between the first and the third world continues. Like, no one's mad or doing war, but like, yeah, we get to just like suck the blood of children in the third world so that we can get fat and lazy in America. Like,
yeah,
that sounds bad. That sounds like, that literally does sound like the fascist world order as it currently exists. You know, like,
I can see how the idea can be sold to people, because I think most normal people can recognize like all of the depravity in this world and like all the wrong being done to people who don't deserve it, but see that like actually solving that and like overthrowing the power structure that makes that happen is such a difficult thing. What if we just collect a lot of people in the same place, we all meditate together, and this is sort of like a cheat code where everything will be cool after that?
My other kind of conspiracy theory-esque thing, and I have nothing to prove this, but I wish that I did, is that like, especially in the 60s, it is an extremely useful counterinsurgency tool to be able to channel people's like, hey, you want social change, right? You want also to develop yourself. Like, also, guess what? You just found out that things like psychedelics exist. So you're having these like kind of mind expanding experiences. Along comes a guy. And I'm not saying that the CIA like found Maharishi in India and were like, hey, teach these schmucks some bullshit. But that it's like, along comes a guy who's like, what have I told you? You could have these mind expanding experiences. You could like develop who you are as a person. You could help create world peace, all this. And all you have to do is sit down and do nothing at all. It's like, boom. Yeah, that
very convenient.
It is such a good way to defend. Like, hey, you don't need to murder people. You don't need to like do COINTELPRO. You don't need to do sexual blackmail or like do weird like suicide harassment campaigns and shit. Like, just convince everyone to sit down and shut up.
Yeah,
their own accord.
Speaking of too on the nose.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, but I have nothing to prove that it was a counterinsurgency tool, or rather, I feel like a lot of the way that these things work is that something exists in the world, and military intelligence, law enforcement apparatus says, let's just allow that to exist and make sure that we guide it, make sure that it exists in the world with the most counterinsurgency benefit to us, and we don't let it, like, if the TM people get a little too fucking Shinriko about it, or like, if they start to look like they're fucking CIA, like, some kind of suicide cult, Waco-esque, then we'll move in. But currently, it's pretty useful counterinsurgency or whatever.
Yeah, this can work to our ends for sure. Well,
exactly.
I'm glad you bring up Waco and stuff like that. Like, I guess that this is kind of a success story for a cult kind of taking over a town, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Like, cause it's like this is a thing. It's like, me and my brother, very blessed by having normal people for parents.
Sure.
Which there are definitely people who, and this is, I mean, hey, welcome to society, motherfucker. If your parents are insane, then it makes you an insane person. Not saying that it's a cycle that's inescapable, but the people who I know who grew up in the movement and were kind of chewed up and spat out and made insane in a very TM movement specific insane person way. It's like, you can be like, oh, his parents sucked, her parents sucked, like, just like the level of seriousness with which one's parents like engaged with the movement kind of determined how insane you became as a result of growing up in it.
I see. So would you say your parents were not like fully bought in despite having moved there for this purpose?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Actually, I feel like I have a theory that it was kind of like at some point my dad trying to raise a family, living in a trailer park, getting paid sub-poverty wages and stuff like that. Like, he was, ironically, even though TM is a technique to reduce stress, really, really, really fucking stressed out all the time because of money. And, I mean, like, okay, this is an anecdote. This is like, I guess when they were dating, when in like the early 80s or something, my mom lost one of her contact lenses, and he paid, I think it was either $40 or $70 to get it replaced. And that $40 or $70, it was 80s money, whatever. Other than he got paid room and board, and he spent his entire month's pay buying my mom a new contact lens. In 80s money, which, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. But point being, low pay, long hours and low pay. I mean, he worked, when I think about it, oh my God, this is classic class structure shit here. He worked for the movement, living in the trailer park, and then on the weekends, he would go work at a factory. And I went to school with a girl whose dad owned that factory. It's like, so working on weekends at the factory, I think like fucking graveyard shift at the factory, third shift or whatever, on the weekends. And then basically eventually he was like, I can't fucking do this. We moved off of campus into just a normal house that one rents, as opposed to, this was probably when I was like a teenager, as opposed to living in the trailer park. And then he started making more money. Because he was doing the same shit that he was doing for the movement, which is just like contract, like fixing boilers, fucking whatever, doing wiring houses type shit. And then handyman shit. And then he started to do that for himself as opposed to for the movement, and actually made a living wage. And I will say he became distinctly happier, but also it's like that, I think, provided like a actual, like, my mom still actually does work for the university. She works for the movement. But I think that, like, I mean, I know for a fact that it's like she still works there mostly because it's like this is her community. Like, also it provides kind of like a stability and like a consistency in life that she really appreciates. And like, she's kind of become like a mother figure to some of the younger people who work in her office and stuff. Like, and she just really fucking likes it. And so I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't think that she is like, I think that she would like some world peace, but I don't think that she's like, we're doing it, folks, any day now. It's just like, for more of her life she has spent living in Fairfield, being a member of this community, than she's spent living in Ohio, being like quite poor and struggling all the time and shit. And so she's just far more connected to that. Like, but like, yeah, I think that kind of like realizing, like, my dad having to not work for the movement anymore, getting a living wage, kind of like living not on campus in the trailer park, all these things kind of like provided a little bit of a buffer so that it wasn't just like total fucking nonstop, like, oh, make sure that you're eating these right foods, make sure that you're sleeping with your head in this direction, don't wear the color black, only go indoors that face east, whatever you do, or live in a house where the door faces east.
Okay, so these are part of it, huh?
Yeah, kind of. It's like this, like, I mean, that's another, there's some things, it's like, yes, very, very minor league in terms of cult goes, but certainly a lot of things that are like, culty in that it's like, oh, this is a totalizing lifestyle. It's like, you should eat the foods that Maharishi says that you should eat. By the way, you should buy them from Maharishi's food production company, you know. Like, you should live in a house that looks like this, that follows this certain Stapacha Vedic things. Well, if you want to live in a house like that, you have to buy the designs from, like, a guy who knows how to do the designs. Like, everything is kind of like, it stays in-house. It stays kind of like
forced conformity.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, one of the ultimate kind of shorthand things to be like, it was a cult, is that before he died, Maharishi, a couple of years before he died, he had a thing called the Enlightenment Program, which is where you could pay $1 million and you would take a course with Maharishi and he would guarantee you become enlightened. Which not only would he guarantee that you become enlightened, he would then make you a Raja of a different country of what was called the global country of world peace, which is almost this like meta world on top of the world, or maybe underneath the world. Meta world existing along with our world, which is the global country of world peace. But he would like make each of these Rajas a different Raja. Well, these guys, these millionaires, a different Raja, which is, I think, Hindi for king.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Of a different country of the global country of world peace. And they would wear these like Burger King looking ass hats.
This sounds kind of Mormon, like the
you know what, you're right.
Planet thing.
Yeah. But right. Oh, and I mean, here, ultimate fucking example of sexism is that women can't be Rajas. They can only be wife of Raja. A Rajeshari. Let's see. I'm typing in Raja of global country of world peace to see if, in Google Images, to see if that will give you an example of. Oh yeah, I mean, look at all these pieces of shit. Oh yeah, there's so much. Sorry, there's literally so many stupid, insane things that just like little dummy factoids. But yeah, if you type it in, there's like these guys wearing these stupid looking crowns, and there's insane
global country of world peace is what it's called.
Yeah. Yes. There's a truly insane video where the Raja of Germany is at a lecture in Berlin that David Lynch is putting on, because he's like, they're starting like a David Lynch film school in Berlin, and because it's the movement shit, they have to have the Raja get up and like be a fucking dummy piece of shit who makes everyone look bad. And in this case, the Raja of Germany makes people look really fucking bad, because he keeps on saying invincible Germany, we're gonna have an invincible Germany, and he's speaking in German. David Lynch does not speak German. He's just sitting there while chaos breaks out because these Germans are like, that's what Adolf Hitler wanted. All this stuff like this is, like, fuck you, you piece of shit. How dare you say that? And there's a part, someone says, someone in the audience says, Adolf Hitler wanted that too. And he says, yes, but unfortunately he didn't succeed.
Ooh.
And if you search David Lynch lecture in Berlin turns into chaos, you can watch this video. It just gives you it's just basically like near the end, Maharishi just gave a bunch of millionaires a huge amount of latitude to basically to speak in public as if they deserve to speak in public. And this Raj of Germany, I cannot help but feel like it's just I feel like he might have been his grandpa might have been a Nazi who should have been murdered at the end of World War II, who unfortunately escaped prosecution, and now he's rich aristocratic family comes along and sees this kind of occult Hindu thing. There's Nazis have this weird obsession with occult shit and esoteric knowledge, and he's I can basically pay to be an aristocrat. And then he says yes, but unfortunately Hitler didn't succeed. So he's this man is a Nazi, whether or not he has Nazi grandfather or not.
For sure, he's espousing the ideology, and he paid for this cultural authority to spread that message.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Very cool.
Which, I'm so glad that Jerry Seinfeld practices this form of meditation.
Yeah. They also have a picture. They have a series of photos on here on the Golden Dome website of Senator Bernie Sanders being presented with the university's graduation brochure, which features Senator Tom Harkin, and it's just really close-up pictures of Bernie looking at a piece of paper.
Oh my God, whoa. I wonder what this situation was. That's so funny.
Yeah,
these are busted ass. I do love the quality of these JPEGs is amazing.
And then a YouTube link to Donald Trump saying, that's great about TM for vets.
Yeah, Trump signed the page for the David Lynch Foundation, Operation Warrior Wellness, blah, blah, blah. Here's the Ivanka Trump. It's 404 forbidden. That's kind of, whoa, IvankaTrump.com? I guess she would have a website, but that also just seems insane.
Yeah.
Whoa. IvankaTrump.com is now just one thing, and it's just thanks for coming to my website.
Yeah, so pictures of shoes and handbags and stuff in the background.
And it's it has been an honor to build this incredible community of women who work, blah, blah, blah. It's just that's so funny. What a wild, I can't believe this is society. Once again, all this, just more reasons why it's not a surprise Charlie Kirk got shot.
Yeah, we've been cooking everyone's brains in a lot of different ways for years.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
We're all the frogs in the pot.
So, we should probably start wrapping up because Evan has an engagement he needs to run off to. Before we go, Dom, would you like to plug anything for our listeners?
Well, visual medium, but for audio medium, but I do a lot of paintings. And I also play shows and whatnot. I guess my stupid ass Instagram is the best way for people to follow me, which I think is _sweat_FM. Oh, hell yeah. And you know what? I looked at my phone. It is sweat_FM. And someone just DM'd me that they wanted to buy a painting. But normally I don't even do it via the DMs. I feel like the easiest way to kind of the thing that I would like to plug is my mailing list, where people send me an email with the words painting list in the email to my email, which is real.real.dom@gmail.com. Because that's how I sell. Yep. At gmail.com. That's the main way that I sell my paintings. It's just kind of it's a bit of a clusterfuck, but it is the best way I've found to just kind of sell as many and I sell all of my paintings for $100. And so I just blast out an email to what is now 500 or so people.
Oh,
bam.
Nice.
Whoever responds soonest gets to buy a painting. If you it's just I send an email. I then click clack on my computer constantly. People, when people respond, I'm yep, that's available. What's your mailing address? La, 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 la. Or I'm sorry, it already got sold. But it's a way to sell paintings directly to the people.
Yeah, it sounds like it works for you. So
yeah,
that's
a little bit more fair, you know?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's like, first of all, fuck Instagram, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, it could be that one day, I mean, inevitably, it will become unpopular. So, like, to hinge one's entire artistic career on the social media that is... Or also, like, if I post too much fuck America, pro-Palestine stuff, it just is like, okay, your art will no longer be shown to people. Which I just can't resist the urge to say fuck America, death to Israel and stuff like that. You know, it's like, I gotta be posting that on my story.
You have a moral obligation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, the painting mailing list is kind of like my main way that I sell my art to the people. And inexplicably selling my art to the people is how I pay the freaking bills. So, plus, I want everyone to own a painting. I mean, look at how nice it looks back there behind your head. Bam!
If you've watched any of the video podcasts we've put out, there is a Dom original behind my head in all of those.
There we go. But yeah, I don't know. That's the main thing. But yeah, I don't know if anything that I said made sense. I just kind of blasted like a real shotgun blast. It was no precision sniper rifle from 200 yards away blast of information. It was just kind of but so hopefully anything that I said made any sense whatsoever.
I think it's good. I think we got a taste of world peace.
Exactly.
A lot of different threads for other people to follow, too,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, we should probably do a follow-up at some point, you know, give you some time to like maybe like get a thesis together or something.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
I need to read some books. I feel like I would like to find there's a book about growing up in Fairfield called Greetings from Utopia Park. This seems interesting. There's also someone was telling me a couple books that are a bit more. I need to develop the conspiracy theory angle and the MK Ultra angle to the movement and all that. And there's some hilarious and psychopathic links that I can send you of just like, I don't know, did I send you this thing, the Earl Kaplan letter?
Yes.
I think I might have.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've read that.
It goes hard.
There's a lot to
There's a lot.
It raises a lot of questions.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend people search Earl Kaplan letter on Google, and it's the first thing that shows up. And just to kind of, you know, hey, get another view, you know, a diversity of viewpoints. See what this absolutely insane guy who is unbelievably rich has to say about the movement.
Yes. All right. Let me plug a couple things, and then we'll get out of here. If you live in Coralville, Iowa, the city that I live in, and you're listening to this episode right when it comes out, there is a campaign kickoff for Ryan Swenka for mayor and Katie Freeman for city council at noon today, Sunday, September 14th, at Diversions, which is like a little tabletop gaming space in town. Today at noon. So if you want to meet the next mayor and the next member of city council, people that I like, my friends, you should head out there at noon. But chances are it's already passed. This is an asynchronous medium that we're dealing with here. But I did want to mention it. Music shows that I'm playing soon. Next Saturday, September 20th, Weapon X, my duo with Will Yeager, we're playing with Rashadicus, the infamous cello goblin. You may have seen him on Instagram.
He played a show at my house one time.
Oh, really? Awesome.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I've not met him, but, you know, I've seen a lot of cool videos of him.
Hell yeah.
And then 1 week after that, Filament, which is a jazz trio from New York, is playing at Trumpet Blossom. That's September 27th. Weapon X is also playing at that show. So the next couple Saturdays, I'm playing live events. If you're listening to this podcast and you're thinking, like, I just have to weigh in on something that these guys said, you can call us on the phone, 319-849-8733. Did you grow up in Fairfield? Do you have experience with the TM movement? Tell us about it. 319-849-8733. If you'd like to support the podcast and listen to a bunch of other shit that we've released behind a paywall, go to patreon.com/rockhardcaucus. It's just $1 to get behind that paywall. There's a whole bunch of audio back there. And now we're going to close the episode with some music. And Dom,
Sexy Sadie by the Beatles.
Oh, apparently there is a Beatles song about a lady who lived in Utopia Park.
Really?
Sexy Sadie is about, apparently the Maharishi made a sexual advance on someone at the...
Oh, Mia Farrow.
Yeah, actually, I think
that
is
Mia Farrow.
So John Lennon was very upset by that and wrote a song to kind of call him out.
Yes.
Well...
So yeah. There we go.
No, I mean, the episode will get pulled from Spotify if I do that. But.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think Dom should actually play his music. I was just
could I put a Sweat FM track here?
Yeah, totally.
All right.
Drop that track, DJ.
Do you have one that you would like to be played?
I don't fucking. Well, the newest thing that came out was called "Born Too Loose," so you can play one of those songs. It's a three little jammer.
It's right here.
Jammer.
Born Too Loose. I'll play the title track to end the episode.
Yeah.
You can find this at sweatfm.bandcamp.com if you'd like to download it for yourself, everybody. And that's all. Thanks so much, Dom, for sharing some of your life experience with us.
Yeah, it was great. Great time.
Anytime.
God bless.
Yeah.
I mean, Maharishi bless.
Exactly. Jay Gurudev. That's actually the term. Jay Gurudev.
Jay Gurudev?
Yeah, which Gurudev is the guy who taught Maharishi.
Yeah.
He's the guy who was referenced in the Insane Guy's letter who Maharishi allegedly murdered. Yes.
Right.
Yes, and then he unlocked the secret artifact, etc.
There's a lot in there.
A lot of places to
Give
go.
it a read. All right.